After Hours Radio and Dirty Chai Radio. Name's Ryan Quinn in the Dirty Chai studio with me. I've got Kordell, as per usual.
Yo, how's it going?
Wonderful. And new to the Dirty Chai studio, we have Mike Rhode. Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Well, hello. It's great to be here.
It certainly is. We just locally here in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, just kind of put an end to a 10-day festival known as Aquafest. And I know for me, it's been a family tradition to go down there since I was about 12 years old. My parents decided I was old enough to partake in the festivities. The live music. There's 10 days of different family events, and there's the fun day in the park, and they've got bike races and 5Ks and different things each day, and then 3 days of live music, national headliners, right downtown in our small town of about 8,300. And it's a lot of fun. This year we had Chris Cruzy, who is a local boy for us, lives in Barron, Wisconsin, born and raised in Barron, Wisconsin. If you've followed The Voice at all, you know Chris Cruzy. If you follow local music at all here, you know Chris Cruzy. And of course, if you follow local music for about the last 10 years or so, it's been a lot of fun watching Chris Cruzy grow into the musician that he is today. And then we had on Friday night, originally scheduled Ace Frehley, formerly of Kiss, but COVID and things pushing the festival a year out. He couldn't make it, so they found a replacement in Lita Ford from the Runaways fame that stepped up and got to have our Friday night. Before that, a local band called The Compromise. And I forgot to mention DJ Reese opened up basically all 3 nights. He was down there doing different things. And then we had The Compromise that opened up for Lita Ford on Friday night. And on Saturday night, Dawn Marie of Elk Mound, Wisconsin, also national touring country artist, latest single reached number 75 on the country charts. She opened up for Lone Star, which, if you have been aware of music in the last 20 years, you know Lone Star and what they're about. So we had all of that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday downtown, and then today we had the parade. I think there was a breakfast in the food court or something.
Wasn't that put on like by the Lions Club or something?
Yep. Raising money for
Pancake
their cause.
breakfast.
I didn't even know about that.
I wish I had woken up in time to get down there, but I was a little pushing it on time for work this morning, so I unfortunately had more important things to do.
That's the thing about Aquafest. You have to. It's a tricky balance between responsibility and partying.
Well, and
especially
you have so much fun that morning sneaks up on you, man.
right, it does. And so then today there was that breakfast that none of us got to make it to. Did you make it to it, Mike?
No, I didn't even know it was going on. Now that I know about it, hopefully they do it next year.
I think it was just Sunday, but if they do it next year, I'm definitely gonna try and make it.
Sounds like
down
a good
there.
hangover cure.
I think it's like 8 to. I think it was like 8 to 11 or something today.
Yeah, and they. It is an annual thing. I think they've been doing it since the 80s, or maybe a little before that.
Gotcha.
So you'll have a chance for pancakes next year if you plan. Proper planning produces pancakes.
I like that.
Yeah.
PPPP.
Yeah. Proper planning produces pancakes, and so right after the pancakes at noon 30 today, there was the grand parade. It had, I think, Old Glory was the theme. And they started that with a flyover, vintage warplanes, which was kind of neat to see.
Nice.
So I enjoyed that. I was in the parade representing the radio station. And, it's we underperform every year. Like, we don't have a float. We just put the station vehicle in the parade. And it's... there we are, and we don't have external speakers in the car anymore. So it's just the radio in the car, and I turned it up to max. And a little secret for folks here in After Hours Radio: too many damn commercials to play the station in a parade. So I put Spotify on, and I decided what I was going to do this year was play Hall & Oates, but a cover of Hall & Oates a band called The Bird and the Bee covering. They did a whole album of Hall & Oates covers. And my original plan was I was just gonna let that album play through. We're gonna go listen to Hall & Oates done by The Bird and the Bee for a half hour, because that's how long the album is. The entire parade, we'll just let it play through. And then I realized I didn't know this when I started playing the album. I know the album because of the song Man Eater and what's that other one? If it starts with If.
Yeah, your Hall & Oates knowledge is about as expansive as mine is. I really got to brush up on my 80s music knowledge.
Fair enough. I knew it because of the singles, and I found out that the first song on the album was called Heard It on the Radio. And it just, it was about hearing it on the radio. I was like, oh, we're going to listen to this on repeat. The only thing I played during the parade was that over and over and over again. And yeah, people seem to like it. I liked it. Like I was just bopping along, and like, what do? I'm stuck inside this Fiat, right? It's not open. Like you can't really see who's driving it, but yet people still wave at me, so I feel obligated. And I'm not a parade waver. I can't do this thing. It's not my style. But I try for them, and I shout "Happy Aquafest" at the top of my lungs, even though I don't have a voice from Saturday night. I love the parade, though. Sorry I get rambling about it, but it's a highlight of my weekend. You go to the bands, and then you go to the parade, and then you get a corn dog in the food court, and then you go see the art in the park afterwards, and now you've had a Sunday. Now you can relax. Now you've had a Sunday. If only every Sunday involved a parade, Let's just have a parade. Why? Because it's Sunday.
Parades, corn dogs, and art in the park. I can get down with that.
Every Sunday. And I guess there's
all I ask is that the parade be moved, though, so that it doesn't have to happen on my front doorstep.
Well, you know what? It's happy being on your front doorstep. I'm happy with it on your front doorstep.
Yeah. Well, I'd be more happy if, people cleaned up a little better after themselves than,
That's true. What is
Enjoy your parade, but pick up your cups.
What is it like after the bands in the morning? Or have you not been awake enough to find out?
Let's see. Saturday I didn't have to be up early, so I was not up early enough after Friday night.
Sure.
I enjoyed sleeping in because I needed it that day.
Sure.
Friday was a bit fun. And then this morning, I don't know, there was just like some garbage laying around, but it was pretty quiet this morning at
Fair
about 8:30 or 8:40 whenever I walked out the door this morning.
Fair enough. Well, hey, we're gonna get into a bit more of the festivities, and we might even let Mike talk this time.
I do that occasionally.
So you stick around. It's gonna be a fun time. Don't forget you can follow along on Facebook, facebook.com/AHRadioWY, and Twitter is @AHRadioWY. Instagram is AfterHoursRadioWY, and Kordell, there's places that you can find the podcast.
iHeartRadio, Apple Music or whatever, Spotify, Deezer, of course, and our favorite, DirtyChatRadio.com.
That's right. Stick around. We've got more coming up. Right now, we're defying our content. Middle and end.
Even though we know better. After Hours Radio, alternatively entertaining.
Wish I could say I was finally over you, but that's not the truth. Everyone always keep falling in love again. The fuck's wrong with them? I don't understand. Maybe it will pass by. Someone save me for I pass out. I'm too lonely to be done. I'm a drink at this page. Yeah. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be two of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy to you, don't it? Why am I the only one who's left in the rain? If I had an option to be someone else, I would, and let go of you. I know that I'm obvious, fuck it, I'm made this way. But why didn't I stay when I had the chance? Maybe it will pass by, someone save me for I pass out. I'm too lonely to be done in my drink at this pace. Yeah. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be two of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy to you, don't it? Why am I the only one who's left in the rain? The only one that's left in the rain. The only one that's left in the rain. Wish I could say I was finally over you, but that's not the truth. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be two of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy to you, don't it? Why am I the only one who's left in the rain?
Keeping your music taste out of Sucker Creek since 2011. After Hours Radio, alternatively entertaining. Hours Radio, alternatively entertaining.
Shed a tear in my whole life. Leave, baby, leave, release the spell. Drink the poison if it'll freeze this hell. I was cursed, that's what I'm told. You'll get burned, that story's old. Dark sky and burning fire. I'm faster to escape these lies. Mountain water running free. Take the bad luck away from me. Wind blows like the Santa in a breeze. Take the bad luck away from me. The air is thick with snow. There's nowhere to go. Earth and soil release my fate. Take my bad luck, don't hesitate. Dark sky and burning fire. I'm faster to escape these lies. Mountain water running free. Take the bad luck away from me. Earth and soil release my fate. Take my bad luck, don't hesitate. Wind blows like the Santa in a breeze. Take the bad luck away. Take the bad luck away. Take the bad luck away from me.
Don't forget to stalk us on Facebook and Twitter for exclusive content and information from the artists you love. After Hours Radio, your Sunday night just got better.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and here's a hand of thine. We'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne, for old lang syne.
Broadcasting live in downtown Rice Lake, Wisconsin. You're logged on and listening to After Hours Radio.
Can't find the words to say. Pack up, sleep. We're going away. I'm sorry we can't stay. I know you don't wanna, but hey, guess we're going on a holiday. I'll bring mine. Guess we're going on a holiday. I'll bring mine. I'll bring my friends. You're such a sweet boy. Ice cream parties and even some toys. I'm sorry we can't stay. I know you don't wanna, but hey, guess we're going on a holiday. I'll bring mine. I'll bring mine. Guess we're going on a holiday. I'll bring mine. I'll bring my friends. Guess we're going on a holiday. I'll bring mine. I'll bring mine. Guess we're going on a holiday. I'll bring mine. I'll bring my friends.
After Hours Radio on Dirty Chai Radio. Name's Ryan Quinn. With me in the Dirty Chai studio, of course, we've got Kordell and a special guest this evening. We've got Mike Rhode. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Yellow.
So we left off, and if you're with us live, perhaps you noticed that we missed a break. I'm sorry, I had to stay up on NASCAR. Kyle Larson won. Stole it from Chase Elliott, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I was a little busy crying in the corner.
I was not crying. I told Kyle I was happy for him in my own kind of way.
Right before you called him a very delightful name.
Well, you know, we all have feelings.
Yeah.
So My apologies. We're back on track here, and when we were last talking, we weren't talking NASCAR. We were talking Aquafest, and it's something that I've been going to for basically all of my childhood and all of my adulthood. I don't think there's a year that I've missed since about '97. You've gone a few years, haven't you, Mike?
Yeah, this is probably my 7th or 8th year at Aquafest, and actually my first one I actually listened to from my home. This is when I first moved up here, and yeah, I was just kind of working part-time, fast food, and have a whole lot of money, but I got to hear Hairball from my living room.
Hey,
so that was
Nice.
pretty cool, and then I got to see them a year later, and I was thoroughly impressed. They're probably one of the best cover bands I've ever heard.
yeah, and there's a reason that Aquafest was booking them for years. There, one thing you could guarantee with Aquafest is that you were going to get a Hairball show. That lasted for a few years, and then.
I think they kind of blown up since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now everybody everywhere knows Hairball all over, at least the greater Midwest, not just Wisconsin,
Right.
Minnesota, but Iowa, Dakotas. They're everywhere.
I was gonna say they've been at like even like the Minnesota State Fair in recent years and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. When it comes to bands that cover other bands, Hairball is the best of the
Yeah.
best, really.
Yeah, I've seen them get booked down in my old neck of the woods. I grew up in southern Wisconsin, actually, Fond du Lac, Waupun area.
Oh, sure.
So on
Okay.
social media with all my old friends, I'll see them.
My,
Big
uh,
events there.
My cousin Dylan just performed in Waupun this weekend.
Oh, nice.
nice.
Dylan Martinson had a show there. I told him he should start playing at prisons like Johnny Cash. Waupun has one, don't they?
They have 3 actually. like there's like
Well, that's perfect. He was just there. He has 3 shows lined up now.
Yeah, he can pull an Aquafest type of thing, a Thursday, Friday, Saturday gig.
yeah, I mean if you live in Waupun, you either work in a factory or you're a prison guard, and it's about a 50-50 chance. Like
Wow.
both of my parents were actually prison guards. They're retired now. But,
Sure.
Whoa.
And like all my friends, like half of them all were too. So
Nice.
just kind of weird telling people when you're partying. Yeah, my parents are kind of cops.
There you
Just
go.
kidding.
Alrighty.
Who invited the narc?
Yeah.
So you were downtown this weekend with us. So you and I connected a couple different times over the weekend. What was your favorite night?
Wow. Well, I mean, surprisingly, and I'm not even really a big country music fan. It's kind of near the bottom of my list, but
Sure.
I was really impressed with Lone Star.
Yeah,
I mean, I liked Cruzy. Lita was great. I love rock and roll. I'm gonna like any rock and roll show, but just to be surprised when you didn't expect to be,
Yeah. So Lone Star did it for you.
Yeah.
What about you, Kordell? You missed Cruzy's night?
Yeah, unfortunately, I did have to work, so I didn't get to make it to the Thursday festivities. And then Friday, I was, there a little later, so I got to see a little bit of Lita Ford. That was pretty good. And I do have to agree with Mike. Lone Star did kind of surprise me. I know that they're like a big name band, and like you said, if you know music at all for the last 20 years, you know who they are, but they did a good show, and like towards the end they did like some more covers. They even played a hip hop song. One of you guys mentioned earlier, so that was pretty cool to just kind of hear them do that stuff too.
Yeah, Sugar Hill Gang.
Yep.
Did not expect to hear them cover Sugar Hill Gang. I remember I was in the beer tent with you, and
you're just like,
yeah, I started
hear that?
started banging.
Do you hear that? And I was like,
banging on him.
I was like, ooh. And he's like, yeah, the first real recorded rap song ever. And I was like, yes, that was awesome. It was very cool to hear.
And it was from there they did a bunch of really great covers as well. That was for their encore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that kind of blew me away. Their selections there.
Yeah.
And if Aquafest would have happened in 2020, Lone Star wouldn't have had the same singer they had this weekend. They had the original singer last year, and since the year has passed, the original singer left the group. I don't know
I
if
didn't know
that's
that.
pandemic related or if it's I have no idea why, but they had the original lead singer, and they would have had the original lead singer in 2020 had they performed. But we got the guy that they had now, and I feel bad I don't remember his name, but he's a fairly accomplished singer-songwriter on his own as well. and they played some of his originals with the Lone Star set. And he's from my understanding, written a lot of songs that have made it on country radio, and other artists have gotten big with them. So, very talented artist in his own right. I don't want to take away from, it wasn't Lone Star, he wasn't the original singer, but very talented group of musicians up on that stage, regardless of whether or not you like country music. Hard to deny that talent. And of course, for the three of us, we got to be in the tent where they give you the free beer, and so
and free food.
Food.
They had a lot of. I had some breadsticks left over towards the end of the night when I needed some carbs to soak up some of that free beer from Caddyshack. But they had all kinds of good vendors there. They had Caddyshack. They had
Breon
Smokehouse from Cameron.
Cooking Up a Storm is a local catering company.
Yep.
Great food all 3 nights. I look forward to each year eating carrots.
Well, I'll definitely be looking forward to it next year, and that's one thing I'd like to put out to anybody who's listening. If you've never done VIP at Aquafest, I was fortunate enough to be able to do it on Thursday night, and I found this with a lot of other music festivals, that a lot of times it actually saves you money.
Yes.
I mean, if you plan on having a few drinks, you're gonna get food and all that. I mean, all that stuff's usually kind of pricey anyway if you're buying it separately, and it's nice not to have to worry about how much money's in your wallet throughout the night.
Right, you get that that pass there, and then all your food and all your drink is covered until 10 p.m.
Yep.
Which increases the party to dangerous levels sometimes. I mean, there's been you think with the name like VIP that you're gonna have a stuffier crowd or something.
Well,
no.
This is northern Wisconsin.
Not at all. In fact, I probably knew more people in the VIP tent than I did people who were going general admission.
In general admission, yep.
Yeah, and
it's amazing to me. I've gotten myself in a little trouble in the VIP. We don't need to talk about on air, but. That same year, there were, I think, 5 different incidences of public urination in the VIP.
Oh, my goodness.
Which weren't even bathroom line is full, so they went behind the porta potty or something. It was, right on tables and right out in the open.
Of course it was. Of course it.
To my knowledge, Aquafest did not get that rowdy for anybody this year. All 3 nights, it seemed like it was a pretty well-behaved crowd, and I bet you a lot of that has to do with the fact that we ain't got to do this in so long. So people were just grateful to be there, number one, and to have that live music and that experience. So I did notice that a lot of folks were partying hard, but it seemed like most cats were respectful.
Yeah, all around. I mean, even after the show, when I was out and everything, everyone was super, super happy and friendly.
You are a local DJ, and I feel bad that we haven't mentioned it up until this point. When we come back, I want to talk to you about post-Aquafest activities. Because, again, this tradition with my family has been going on for every Aquafest. I started in '97, and when I became of age, then everybody in the family goes downtown. And we'll talk about the after Aquafest scene here in just a few minutes. Stick around. Don't forget, you can follow the show online anytime, facebook.com/AHRadioWY. On Twitter, it's at AHRadioWY. Instagram is After Hours Radio WY. DirtyChaiRadio.com has a lot of what you need. And Kordell, in 15 seconds, can you tell me where you can find the podcast?
Apple, Spotify, Deezer. Shout out to your Alexa, and also DirtyChaiRadio.com.
After Hours Radio, alternatively entertaining. Don't forget to stalk us on Facebook and Twitter for exclusive content and information from the artists you love. After Hours Radio, your Sunday night just got better.
I can live forever, always in your bed.
After Hours Radio on Dirty Chai Radio. Name's Ryan Quinn. Shouting at you here in the Dirty Chai studio. Of course, we've got Kordell with us, and Mike Rhode is hanging out. So, well, the last time we were speaking, to give a bit of a recap, Aquafest downtown, those 3 nights of live entertainment. I don't quite live for it, but I look forward to it each and every year because you get to see people from the home base that you ain't gonna see any other time of the year. The only time it seems like some people come out is for Aquafest. It is a special thing for a town of about 8,300 to be able to bring that in consistently each year. Now, I might not care for the bands that they bring in each year personally, but each year the event itself is so much fun, and part of that fun then leads to continuing the party afterwards. And this year they did something a little different in that Lone Star and Lita and Chris ended fairly early by Aquafest standards, and they had DJ Reese perform, which sure, it took away about an hour of live music performance, but what a fun vibe change there at the end of the night.
Last night when everybody moved over to that big beer tent and they just started playing music, and just like everybody just kind of moved in and started dancing together. It was so great.
Because at the end of Aquafest,
so much fun.
That's the one thing that I always noticed before they did the DJ at the end. At the end of Aquafest, everybody's coming off of this energy, this live music, and nobody quite wants to leave just yet. And so, and there is a great number that do. They've seen the show, they're ready to be done. But then there's others that maybe don't want to go downtown all the way to the bars, but still aren't ready to call it a night, or maybe need to hang out and not drink for a little while before they walk away and to go into the night. So it makes a great transition there, a great transition. And then of course, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, because that beer tent, you saw more people there because the crowd is huge for the live music. And then you get a little closer, and you're fair if you want to be hesitant to get in a crowd that close. Fair, don't blame you. But when everybody's comfortable with it again, and it seems like a lot of us were comfortable with it this weekend. Hopefully that works out. It's an amazing thing, and I hope that they keep that for Aquafest going forward.
Me too. Me too.
You're a DJ, and I mentioned that on our last break. From a DJ perspective, what do you think of having a DJ after? Not necessarily specifically DJ Reese, though. You can comment on him if you'd like. But the whole concept of we've just had this live music, and now bam, from a DJ's perspective. That's got to be something to ride a crowd's energy like that.
Oh, absolutely. And me personally, I mean, I wasn't DJing for Aquafest, but down over at Tipsy, of course, I was. And the cool thing that Reese had, and that all of us as DJs love, is you get in your crowd, they're already primed up from Aquafest. They're already having a good time. Any DJ will tell you one of the most challenging things to do, especially as a live club style or dance DJ, is getting everybody out on the floor. You got to kind of warm them up.
Yep.
You can't just throw out the club bangers right away, because everyone kind of gets thrown off by that. You want to get them kind of moving, tapping their toes, because they're still kind of loosening up a little bit.
Yeah.
But on nights like Aquafest, where you got the festival, the bands have already done that work for us. So we got our crowd ready to go. We can just start blasting the good dance tunes out right away, and everybody just has such a good time. And you were talking earlier before the break about how everybody had such a good attitude. Yeah. I mean, there were a lot of people who were. They were definitely partying, They were rambunctious, but not in a negative way. Not like looking for problems or fights or anything like that. They just wanted. I saw so much hugging. I haven't seen so much hugging before, and so much of it, I think, was just people who haven't seen each other over the last year.
Yeah.
And it felt really, really good.
It did. And when I was doing the parade today, I heard a lot of that just kind of through the car window in between song. I was going to say songs, but in between song. I heard one woman say, "This was such a great Aquafest." And I felt I felt very much the same way. And hearing you mention that same feeling, I think that's probably pretty well shared across the board. And I know when bands were announced in 2020, they would have announced in January of 2020 before we knew that things were going to get shut down. I remember looking at the lineup and be like, well, all right. And didn't get too excited about it, but knew what the party was going to be. And then this year came around. It didn't matter who was going to be on that stage. And luckily, they delivered, too. Mm-hmm. Like, it'd be such a disappointment if they came out and just... We've had one Aquafest band walk off in the middle of the set. Decided Rice Lake wasn't enthusiastic enough and quit and went home. Packed up his gear. I forget who that was, but I think that was the early 90s that happened. Yeah, just asked that question or something, how you feeling? And he decided they weren't feeling up to it, and away they went. So thankfully, the worst didn't happen, it didn't get rained out. We were looking at the forecast going into it, and there's a chance of thunderstorms each day.
Yeah, and we dodged all of them. North of us, south of us, east of us. You'd see them just pop up out of nowhere on the radar, but it was on our side.
It was. We needed this. We needed as a community, as a people. We needed this event, and it felt real good. And then, of course, that leads us to afterwards. Traditions got to be held. The Mr. Bob's is an example where each year that bar is so unique, especially for a town like this. In the 1980s, it was known as the Wooden Nickel, and they had live music there 7 nights a week in a back bar. They didn't have what is now a side bar. That wasn't there, but they had a basement bar called the Silver Dollar. And now Mr. Bob's in that current building has a side bar, it has a back bar, and they open up the Silver Dollar just a few times a year. And Aquafest is one of those times. New Year's is another example of when they might open that up. So the tradition of getting a beer in a bar that was put together in 1981 and remains unchanged minus the goldfish tank. They had a goldfish tank that ran the length of the bar, but it was in the middle of the bar. Now it's just a counter, some dead counter space right in the middle of everything, a post to lean on.
I was thinking of the one kind of in the hallway as you're walking back to the dance room there.
There was a fish tank there too for many years.
They took that down now?
I believe that has been replaced finally.
They still had that up there back when I was spinning at Bob's.
Yep. That was very recently, and so that was these got shag carpeting on the floors and the walls and the ceiling, and where there isn't shag, there's this like really neat stone that they have on the wall. And so my father has been going there since the 80s, and so each year the first stop after Aquafest, we go there. Did you make it to Bob's this year? You're a DJ, so sometimes you have to actually work these things.
Right. I couldn't this year because I was actually DJing at Tipsy's both Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday night just kind of spent the night with my girlfriend because she works a lot, so she was finally able to get a full night off, and we could enjoy ourselves. And we had so much fun. By about midnight, we went home. I kind of wanted to go check it out. I know the DJ who spins at Bob's, a really nice guy.
Chad is the guy that Chad and Cass.
Really cool people, and I kind of wanted to check them out, but we were feeling pretty wore out.
Yeah, and they tag team it. They tag team it well.
Yeah, they
and then from there, each year it's different where I'm going to go from Bob's. Maybe it's to a bar called Smitty's. I ended up there, but I felt
I think it was briefly though.
Yeah, and then
I heard a lot of people wound up over there at Schmitty's.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why it was brief for me. Like too many humans. Not that I was too worried about it. I ain't gonna get a drink soon enough, and thought, not good for you, good for bartenders.
Oh yeah.
But ended up going to a place called The Bar, and that's like a second home to me. I know the owners of that one pretty well. And so.
Well, and they had live music all weekend too.
Yeah, Cask Mates, who we've talked about on the show quite a bit.
And we had Steve on the show as well that one week.
Yep. And then Seth Gamble's crew was Pants Half Off was there for Friday.
I got to learn that story. That was awesome.
It was a good time. Stick around. We got more to talk about here on After Hours Radio.
And all that.
Broadcasting live in downtown Rice Lake, Wisconsin. You're logged on and listening to After Hours Radio.
Open up the window. I'm breathing in the last of September. I can feel the wind blow, and the late summer sky is like a giant ember. Everything is turning into gold. When the autumn leaves are playing chase, it puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low, dancing through the last days of September. Since I was a little child, every year for as long as I remember, all the leaves were running wild, going all the way until November. Turn the world around us into gold. When the autumn leaves are playing chase, it puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low, dancing through the last days of September. I wonder where they're going, the flight of swallows sailing through the sky. There's no way of knowing, but maybe someplace far from you and I. When the autumn leaves are playing chase, it puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low, dancing through the last days of September. When the autumn leaves are playing chase, it puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low, dancing through the last days of September. Dancing through the last days of September.
Half talk, half music. 100% original After Hours Radio. Your Sunday nights just got better.
Alright. Well, I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no. I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no. ain't easy, darling, 'cause the devil's on my trail. I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh yeah, I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh no, it ain't easy, darling, when the devil's on my trail. Oh yeah. Gonna tell you one more time. I can't run, I can't hide, I can't stay in no more. No, I can't run, I can't hide, I can't stay in no more. Oh no, 'cause when the devil's out to get you, you better pray and run slow. Oh, I'm gonna tell you one more time, baby. When the devil's out to get you, you better pray and run slow. Oh no.
After Hours Radio and Dirty Chai Radio. Name's Ryan Quinn, of course, with me in the Dirty Chai studio. We've got Kordell, and Mike Rhode is still hanging out with us. We've been talking a lot of Aquafest this show, and no apologies for it. It was a great weekend. All of it from the live music, and not just the weekend. I got to partake in some of the other events throughout the 10 days. My favorite, though, is always Sunday. I look forward to Sunday, the parade. It started because I was obligated to be in the parade for work. And then it just became a tradition at this point. Other people could probably drive in the parade, but no, I'm going to drive in the parade. And then afterwards, I'm going to walk back up the parade. I'm going to get my corn dog. I'm going to go watch art in the park. And they had the water ski show. The Chautauqua water hydro flights were there this year.
Yeah.
So that was kind of neat to see in Rice Lake. The Chautauqua Hydro Flights is a great organization. I love watching their shows each summer. So, all in all 10 days it felt good to be doing this again. So, I'm trying to remember what night here. Was it Friday night? You accompanied me downtown, Kordell?
Yeah, that was the first night that
Yeah.
I did. I came down a
Yeah.
little later. I think like 9:30, 9:45-ish was about the time
Yeah.
I made it down.
And then did you go out on Friday night afterwards?
Yeah.
So we all kind of had the same Friday night experience, but different perspectives. But we all got to see the same scene. What were the highlights post Aquafest for you, Mike?
Like post all Aquafest or like a given night afterwards?
I'd say the nightlife experience, because usually you have to work, right? You didn't work Friday night?
Well, no. Thursday and Friday night I did DJ.
Oh, you did DJ?
I did. Yep.
So what was the crowd like DJing Friday night?
It was incredible. Well, I would say Thursday night was actually probably my funnest night.
Thursday
nice.
was.
Yeah, we had a lot of people just roll right in right afterwards, and
Oh,
people who wanted to dance. I mean, a good crowd with an awesome vibe, and as a DJ, you love that because
Absolutely.
yeah.
you're not overthinking anything. The next track just comes right up in your head. You get in there, you start mixing stuff up, and you get your drops lined up to where you know it's just going to create that awesome reaction from the crowd. And to me, that's what it's really all about. I love that. I love making people happy when I do that.
How does the Aquafest crowd differ from another Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night?
Well, definitely a lot more upbeat, a lot more happy. Like I was mentioning earlier, the entertainment at Aquafest has already primed your crowd up.
Sure.
It's so great, So now all you got to do is just keep that momentum going till close.
Is it a bunch of regulars on your dance floor for Aquafest, or do you get like an influx?
It was about half and half. I saw a lot of new faces on the floor that I don't normally see.
Sure.
Nice.
And I assume it's kind of been the theme of the night that it was kind of a peppy crowd, huh? They were ready to have fun.
Yeah, there wasn't anybody frowning. Nobody was sad.
No fights this year post Aquafest.
Nope, no fights. It's none that I know of.
I know Rice Lake's Finest did a couple walkthroughs. Did they visit Tipsy?
They did. Yeah.
Ryan, you mentioned fights. I do have to ask.
What?
Who did you get in a fight with?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember when you left me Friday night. Your face looked a little cleaner than that. You got something on your nose there?
We made it the whole show. For folks listening on the podcast that aren't available to the YouTube stream, what Kordell is referencing and what our YouTube viewers
and
may have
also
noticed.
If you didn't get to see him on stage Saturday night,
yeah,
it was there.
What he's referencing is I've got a huge
gash across.
Scab, or yeah.
It's not quite scabbed over yet. It's like just dried blood still. I wear sunglasses all the time, reading glasses, so everything I do just rips it back open.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a character trait for a little while. But, and there's a bit of swelling going on, but it doesn't hurt, really. Unless I do this, so you don't. Does it hurt when I do this? Yes, well, don't do that.
Don't do that.
But other than that, it doesn't really hurt. I don't notice it. But you're right. When I left you, everything was fine. And when I woke up in the morning, and I had left you about 2:15 or so.
Yeah.
And so sometime between 2:15 and when I became conscious of the world at sometime after 8, I got this gash on my nose. And I did not have a phone. So I wake up in the morning, and I don't notice my nose right. It doesn't really hurt.
Right.
Then I look in the mirror, but I don't register. I didn't register.
Did you
it
scream when you?
No, I looked in the mirror and didn't even notice. I went about my morning.
Of course you wouldn't, Ryan. Jeez.
I'm trying to find my phone. I'm looking for my
Priorities,
definitely.
And then I can't find my phone. I end up going pee or whatever. And then I actually look in the mirror and I see my face. Oh, what in the hell? Dried blood everywhere. And I don't remember getting in a fist fight.
Who did I piss off?
Yeah. What is going on here? Where's my phone? Who do I need to apologize to? Can't find my phone. So I spend all day in this kind of half panic. Well, I don't remember anything bad happening, so what happened?
Right.
I wanted to reach out. I took a nap in the day, and I dreamt about my phone. And texting you and our friend Carl, if you remember him on the show, I dreamt I text you and Carl, and by the time I was texting Carl in my dream, I realized I was dreaming. And that I was dreaming about using my phone to ask somebody if they have seen my phone.
Amazing.
Because that makes sense, yeah.
Right. I was like, if I could just ask somebody where my phone is, I'll be able to find it. And so I went to sleep thinking that. And
so did your dream, did me or Carl in your dream tell you where your phone were? Or did you have to go get a new phone?
No, well, you see, what happened is I realized it was a dream, and I was like, well, this is stupid, stop it, and I woke up.
The dream might have told you where it was, Ryan. You were so close.
Yeah, it was buried in your subconscious.
It was.
The universe
was... Right there, man. Right there.
I looked it right in the eye. And he said, no, I don't believe you.
Stupid.
Yeah.
The universe was speaking to you.
And I ignored it. I admit that. I shouldn't have woke myself. And it's so rare that I realize I'm dreaming. It's such I love
Right?
it. I love it. I should have just taken control of the dream and done really neat things. Like maybe fly over to my phone, grow some wings and spot it from the air. But no, I did none of that. And so I ended up having to get a new phone, and I started texting people from the new phone, hey, what happened to me last night? And you were the recipient of that text message.
He sends me this text, hey, what happened last night? And I'm like, what do you mean, Ryan? And then I get a picture, and it's a rather nice selfie other than the fact that he's got this new gash across his nose. And I know for a fact, you left at, 2:15, 2:30-ish, and no gash on your nose. So what did happen?
Well, like you, I left the scene of everything, and I came home. But what I found when I came home was a tree that had fallen on my steps. There was a tree on my steps, and my back porch stair area, and it didn't fall in the middle. Like, I didn't leave for the day. There was no tree. I came home. There's a tree. I knew the tree was there. It had fallen earlier in the week, and it takes a certain left-right spin move to get around the tree to get up the stairs. And I assume I didn't realize this right away. But I'm going throughout the day looking for the phone outside, and I go down into the backyard, and in the backyard, I'm looking around, I don't find my phone, and so I walk up the stairs, and as I'm going up, I get struck with this painful flashback. I'm walking up the stairs doing the left-right spin like it's natural,
Yep.
And right in my view is the railing at eye level. Right at eye level.
There it is.
And I saw myself in the dark hitting that railing with my face. And I felt it all over again. It was like I was dreaming.
Oh, sure. So this time you decided to listen to the universe.
Right.
It hurts.
Yeah. Like, this is what happened to you. And so I saw that railing, and I tested it. I like felt my face, felt how it was formed, and I put my face, and I had already inspected it in the mirror, right? I know the angle of what the gash is, and I put my face up against the wood. Like, in the first place I put it, was like, that feels close, but no.
God, I can see this happening too.
And then I moved a little to the left, and I was like, well, that's a little more of the right trajectory. And I put my face up to it, and sure enough, it fit. It felt like it belonged. Like, oh, home. We've met before.
And if he looked close enough, he could still see the piece of skin hanging off the railing.
Well, at first I thought, it was like, oh, there's the blood. And as it turns out, that wasn't blood. That was just some sort of weird little red bug that lives inside of the wooden railing. Like, I guess I'll leave you alone now, and I backed away when I went. But so I have to assume, being that my face was fine, relatively speaking, when you and I parted, then it wasn't when I woke up that I must have kissed the rail. And well, now I've got a pretty souvenir for Aquafest 21. Which of the souvenirs I've collected at Aquafest, this is the best one. I love this souvenir. All the other ones.
We don't have to mention any background, but the funniest thing I think I heard was Carl goes, "Oh yeah, my screen door won't be broken this year."
There was an Aquafest tradition of mischief. And I also made sure that on, I think it was Thursday night, that I got a picture with Rice Lake's finest.
Yes, yes, you did.
I didn't realize he was the new, I knew there was a new captain of police, captain, because the old one's name was Ham. So there's the new captain. I didn't realize that that this was the new captain. And in the picture, I just kind of put my hands back like this. If you're watching, if you're listening, I've got one hand just kind of behind an officer and another hand behind an officer but raised and holding a beer. And in the picture, it looks like I'm holding the beer over the captain's head.
Oh no.
And I don't think he realized that. And the picture hasn't been posted anywhere. I might be posting it tomorrow morning, I think, is kind of my plan. So be on the lookout for that picture. I really like that picture. Everybody looks real nice in it. So be on the lookout for that. Another Aquafest in the books, another Aquafest complete.
It was a good one for sure.
It was. And it was hopefully good enough to spend an entire podcast talking about it. Thank you so much for sitting through it with us. Relive your favorite moments on the podcast anytime. Where can you find that, Kordell?
Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, Deezer, and of course our favorite, dirtytryradio.com.
And of course, sometimes we post hijinks, other times we don't. But if you want to see them, you can follow them at facebook.com/AHRadioWI, on Twitter @AHRadioWI, and Instagram. We had a pretty decent Instagram game going for a little while. I've broken that streak. We're going to get back on it. Hold me to it next week. Follow us, After Hours Radio WI, on Instagram. If you're listening to the podcast, don't forget to check us out live any Sunday, 7 until 11 p.m. in the Dirty Chai studio. If you are listening live, perhaps check out the podcast sometime at the places that Kordell mentioned. We enter the long-burning 10 o'clock hour in about 5 minutes or so. So as we get ready for our evening, let me just throw on this love thing. Pink. Paisley pink, to tell you the truth. Sometimes,
that's lovely.
Sometimes mice don't listen to human commands, and then you gotta deal with that.
Maybe.
Think about you all the time. You got me loose. My heart was troubled, now I'm fine. Ooh, sky is blue, the snow is gone now from the streets. Oh, so soon, we'll be blessed with summertime. Do you hear the blackbird? Do you feel it in you? Must be feeling something. Maybe it's the thrill of the spring. Maybe it's loving. Nothing ever happened. I'm still waiting. I close my eyes. Imagination's got me hard. Sky is blue, the doubt is gone up from my mind. Maybe soon I'll have your body up on mine. Do you hear the blackbird? Do you feel it in you?
And all that.
Broadcasting live in downtown Rice Lake, Wisconsin. You're logged on and listening to After Hours Radio.
You got me acting out. You, oh, tenderness is out the window. What you do to me when the cold bites blue is straight cool. Oh, it has to be you leaving writings on the wall. Promise me roses and a hungry haze, but now there's only madness. Got me feeling dusty. Got me feeling dusty. I can't even whisper and it's hard to see. Don't take my hand and wake me. And tell me it's a dream. A dream. The worst kind you've ever dreamed. Don't wanna lay another night here. Don't wanna walk another mile. I just can't. Please don't make me do it. I got too much to lose. I've got too much to lose. Too much to lose. Now lay me in the wilderness to dry up bits of your sweet caress. I can't wait no more. Willow trees have died and the last horn lark will fly. Got me feeling dusty. Got me feeling dusty. Please tell me it's a dream. A dream. Worst kind you've ever dreamed. I don't wanna lay another night. Don't wanna walk another mile. I just can't. Oh, please don't make me do it. 'Cause I got too much to lose. I got too much to lose.
Half talk, half music. 100% original After Hours Radio. Your Sunday nights just got better.
I can see it on the horizon, spray painted in black and blue. I can feel the storm winds rising. Can you feel it too? Rain pouring, the sky's falling, lightning strikes and thunder rolls. But just hold on to my hand and don't let go. Once more into the fire, once more into the burning flame, once more into the fray. But I swear we're gonna be okay. Rain pouring, the sky's falling, lightning strikes and thunder rolls.
You had me at a low, and then you passed go and collected your greens. Easily it seems, oh, tell me, did I do something wrong? Or did you invite someone to this song? I don't wanna start by criticizing you, but since we don't talk, there's nothing left to do. But this won't be my heartache, no. This will be your mistake, oh. Go ahead and run. Go ahead and run, run, run. This will be your mistake, oh. It won't be my heartache, no. Go ahead and run. Now go ahead and run, run, run. Oh, run. You were all I'd ever seen. You were all I'd ever dreamed. A perfect face and a perfect smile. Boy, you rocked my world with style, with style. Oh, now you wanna go, you wanna leave it all behind and throw it away. Oh, it's eating off me, baby. Oh, I don't know what to believe or say, but this won't be my heartache, no. This will be your mistake, oh. Go ahead and run. Go ahead and run, run, run. This will be your mistake, oh. It won't be my heartache, no. Go ahead and run. Go ahead and run, run, run. 'Cause you took all that I had and left me with nothing, nothing. But I won't be your victim. Oh, love goes on without you. Oh, and I know what I do. I know what I do. I blame it all on you. 'Cause this won't be my heartache, no. This will be your mistake, oh. Go ahead and run. Go ahead and run, run, run. This will be your mistake, oh. It won't be my heartache, no. Go ahead and run. Now go ahead and run, run, run. Go ahead and run, oh. Go ahead and run. Go ahead and run. Go ahead and run. Go ahead and run, run, run.
After Hours Radio on Dirty Chai Radio. Name's Ryan Quinn, and here we are inside the long-burning 10 o'clock hour. It's been a good night. It's been a fun night. Mike Rhode is still here with us. Of course, Kordell is still here for the long-burning 10 o'clock hour. And Kordell,
Yes.
this is, well, a funny little predicament I found myself in.
You do find yourself in those sometimes.
I do.
Not you specifically. I meant you as in,
Oh, in general? Yeah.
In general. Yeah.
Funny little predicaments.
Funny little
tend
predicaments.
to pop up. And I'm missing the news story. I was about to hand you a news story, and now it has disappeared.
Kenneth Duncan's going to be very disappointed.
Yeah.
I know. The Dirty Chai news director, Kenneth Duncan, handed me the news story and said, "Give this to Kordell this week."
I'm kind of sad. I was really looking forward to that.
Right, and now because of that,
So, never mind. I won't interrupt you.
well, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna, do that old classic thing and relate it to BoJack. In that episode where him and old PB lost the note card with all the winners and nominees.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah, that's
kinda-
right. It wasn't the winners. He got to announce the nominees.
Yeah, you got to announce the nominees.
And then they just created a big board of all of what they thought or just assumed that they should be and went with it.
Right, so this is the challenge that I present to you. Just give me a news story. Just give me a news story. Oh! Well, okay, just give me a news story. Actually, there's a local newspaper on this table here.
There you go.
Grab the local newspaper. You can't read it on air. That's plagiarism.
So you'd have to paraphrase, huh?
No, I want you to just don't read the article, sir. Don't read the article. Read.
I have to.
No, read the headline and tell me what the article's about without reading it.
Which one?
Pick any headline.
Well, so can I look at them then, so I know what I'm?
You can look at the headline. You
Yeah.
can't. You can't
Oh
read
yeah.
the
No,
article.
that's all I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't read the article. Tell me the headline and then tell me the facts without reading the article.
Not really. This one says sun and wind greet Aquafest kickoff.
All right. So what do we have here? What type of sun? How's it spelled?
Well, the big ball of fire in the sky, of course,
yes.
with a U.
Yeah.
That's a
We
good
call
question.
you sun. And in wind, obviously, is.
Well, I know that there was a new kickoff to Aquafest this year, if I'm not mistaken, right? There was like
Yes.
something at
The new 5K at the UW-ECBC campus.
right. So I'm just imagining, a lot of sweaty people, running down the road in a very sunny day. But it's probably a little windy, so probably helped cool them off, but also disperse the stink of the sweaty runners. But
Sweaty runners is my favorite smell.
They bottle that. They got like a candle. It's like Yankee Candle, make a scent called Sweaty Runner.
Nah. I rub it on my pillow. I fall asleep to the smell. You laugh like you don't do it too. Come on, guys.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know. I got nothing for you. Sorry.
They actually do make some really weird candle scents that I've heard of.
Yeah, you can find
I
some
don't even
weird
know if I
ones.
can repeat some of those names on the air. but
Well, who's a good? You can get Gwyneth Paltrow's vajayjay.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, seriously, it's a real thing.
Yeah. You can. Sure, at least a line of candles that smell like her. So, the weirdest candle I ever got was gifted to me by a friend of the show. Her name is Whitney, and it was gifted to me. It was a candle in a can. It was a little blue can about this big, and it was a corn-scented candle. I like to call it my corn-flavored candle. As it turns out, it was not flavored as corn, but it smelled a lot like it.
Yeah.
I guess.
When I worked at the local large hardware store or whatever, they got a lot of tires there. And I remember working with a coworker that said she really liked the smell of tires, and that's why she liked working there.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Like just rubber. I don't know. It's weird.
I do like the smell of. I get that one. You know what I need in here? I need a rubber candle.
We
A
need to get
candle
you-
that smells like rubber.
No,
I want that.
No, we're not gonna waste our time with a rubber scented candle. We're just gonna get you a stack of tires.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you know,
what's that?
maybe I
Gotta
don't-
be brand new because it's that new rubber smell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The old ones don't do that.
I don't know that I want my living room to smell like it, so maybe we can put it in the breezeway. That way I can just walk into the breezeway,
Yeah.
smell the tires,
Get
and
that
walk
nice
out.
rubbery smell, and then
Yeah.
I'm satisfied.
Because I don't know that I'd want to smell it all the time, but sometimes, if I'm in a bad mood, a little grumpy or something, just go sniff the tires. Yeah, why not?
Rubber.
Yeah, somebody's looking for me. What's Ryan doing? Oh, he's always sniffing the tires. Wait, what? A euphemism? No, he's sniffing the tires.
WD-40.
You like that smell?
I love the smell of WD-40. My girlfriend hates it. I used to work in a metal shop, and I'd come home smelling like oil and everything else, but yeah.
WD-40. You know, I
do kind of like that gasoline smell, I'm not going to lie.
I remember I had I think it was a 4th grade teacher tell me, like, yeah, everybody loves the smell of gasoline, but we're not supposed to sniff it. And I thought that was a strange thing for a 4th grade teacher to admit. And that's when I realized that, I don't really like the smell of gasoline. But there is a thing where there are humans that do like the smell of gasoline, and you're kind of one of them?
Yeah, I do. I don't mind the smell of gasoline. I don't know why, but...
Is that like an association thing around cars, or...
I've found that...
not really, no, I don't think so.
I'm not so...
I mean, my grandpa owns like an auto body shop, but... I didn't really spend that much time there as a kid, so. Oh. But yeah. I also really like the smell of fresh cut grass.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
I did not mow the grass today. Sunday's my day to mow the grass, and I didn't do it.
Well, really? I love mowing my lawn.
I do too. I do too. The only reason I didn't was because of the parade and Aquafest stuff. So.
Unfortunately, the closest thing to a lawn I have is Main Street.
You got a nice roof outside of the Appleyard Home for Fun.
Yep, I do have a roof that overlooks the Appleyard's Home for Fun.
But you have access to your roof.
Yes, yep, there's a door right outside of my roof.
I love astronomy, and I would think, man, you get a nice view of the sky. I mean, you're still in the middle of town, you got the light pollution, but at least you don't have all the buildings surrounding you.
Right, yeah, it's not terrible. I do have one... because there's an alleyway behind my building there that kind of goes behind the furniture store and Schmitty's, the bar that we mentioned earlier, and whatnot. But so there's a light post kind of right across that alleyway, so it's a little close. But other than that, there's not a huge amount of light pollution, so I can still see the sky and stuff.
I got a really nice scope. I'm bringing it over. A real big one, so we could check out some cool stuff.
You should bring it over to my pad too sometime.
Yeah,
we could set it right up on the Dirty Chai.
I actually had 4 telescopes that I picked up because I do full-time resale as a regular job, and just going through yard sales, and I had 4 of them, and the girlfriend finally decided that was too many, so I sold the other 3 and got the good one.
I don't think I've ever actually really looked through a really nice telescope. So
Me either.
You should definitely.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's got
bring that over here sometime.
I think it's a 6 or an 8-inch aperture on there, so it can collect quite a bit of light.
Do you have ability to take picture with the telescope?
I don't now. I mean, I could. I mean, you can actually buy camera eyepieces that go right in where your eyepiece would go on the scope, and then you just connect it to a computer and take pictures that way.
Yeah, I've seen telescope pictures, but I didn't know if you had to have a special telescope or if there's something you connect. So it sounds like something that you could connect to it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. What I'd really like to get into is more like the astrophotography, because what you can do with that, because you set up on a special motorized mount, so the camera will follow the scope will follow the sky.
Sure.
And so you can do a 12-hour exposure and collect just as much light as Hubble could in 10 minutes, but you got 8 hours.
Sure.
And I've seen some pictures on a lot of the social media groups I'm on that are they look better than what you'd see with Hubble, a lot of the nebula and stuff.
That's amazing.
It's gotten so cheap to where just about anybody can do Hubble quality photos right from their backyard.
And it's amazing that we're there technology wise.
Might be scrolling through the internet tomorrow.
Right. Hey, stick around. The long burning 10 o'clock hour continues here in the Dirty Chai studio. First, we give you the flavor of the day. This is Sam Shore on After Hours Radio, Dirty Chai Radio.
Showed me your affection, but I was looking for perfection. So I moved on and on and on to someone new, as if no one knew what I was going through. I know you think I'm just pretending, and that I can't rewrite the ending. To move on and on and on to someone new isn't how you find the one that I am through with playing sure that if I just kept moving on and on and on to someone new, I would have never understood that I had you who gave it all. You're not just a flavor of the day. This time, you're more than a flavor of the
Don't forget to stalk us on Facebook and Twitter for exclusive content and information from the artists you love. After Hours Radio, your Sunday night just got better.
party. And all that.
Broadcasting live in downtown Rice Lake, Wisconsin. You're logged on and listening to After Hours Radio.
Tapped in. Lately my life had a fast man, but it's ass plan. Fight for my life with the brass hands, and I still ball with a bad hand. Got an aerial point of view, but they'll never see the big picture through zoom lens. From the quicksand, make it push start, type of band's coupe with the tent plan. I'm back on my bender rolls for the kicks. They quick to give them 2 cents. Put my circle tight like we glued hands. Like I don't believe in new friends. Trail light, I know the ice thin. I drop the song, get a few wins. I crave the comfort in my own skin. Really, I just wanna feel the world spin. Go for check, watch me double that. I get it lit, I watch it bubble up. Remember opening for shows, no a show, but I pulled through, I muscled up. Now the label one fuck with us. I spin the paper, let them know what's up. I figured I was really onto something, cause jealous niggas give a subtle love. Crazy, they hella shaky on that really, bruh, that's fake shit. See through the shade, shit, they so unstable. Done waiting, I'm a wanderlust, I'm really going all the way to places. Never thought I'd take it all off the phrases, but I can't get no sleep, landing in the weeks. Life is bittersweet, I can't really explain it, but it's everything I need. At least for now, I think that everything might be alright, okay, yeah. I can't get no sleep, landing in the weeks. Life is bittersweet, I can't really explain it, but it's everything I need. At least for now, I think that everything might be alright, okay. These days I get replays, blue faces, how I decorated the loose page. Remember how I used to serve the plate, clean the food tray, working 8 to 4 from Tuesday through the weekdays. Hustle evenings at the stool off Highway 92 in Haywood, always running just a few lanes. Tucking a new game, back to the crib and I color in new ways. Building a new blade, but the budget tied me down like shoestrings. Collected the loose change, those were the days that made me. She on my line like a beacon, she could've swore that I was cheating. Be honest, I was barely breathing, chasing the life how I wanted it, knowing that you was all that I need. Puzzle that all of the pieces that fit like a glove, you sit it right in front of me, how I don't see it. Hit up the Brody to vent, like thought and I take it easy. Am I on or something, or am I reaching to be validated? Instead I get told from the parking space, why do it feel like I could have a vote for the ominous faces to all that won't save us? I thought the ground was for the breaking, look like it's all overrated. Yeah, like it's all overrated. Like it's all overrated to me. Like it's all overrated to me. I can't get no sleep, landing in the weeks. Life is bittersweet, I can't really explain it, but it's everything I need. At least for now, I think that everything might be alright, okay, yeah. I can't get no sleep, landing in the weeks. Life is bittersweet, I can't really explain it, but it's everything I need. At least for now, I think that everything might be alright, okay, yeah.
After Hours Radio on Dirty Chai Radio. I'm Ryan Quinn. Hey, welcome to the long burning 10 o'clock hour. We've got Kordell and Mike still with us. And what were we talking about just before we parted ways here? We're getting on to something good.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I know at one point we were talking about telescopes, though.
Oh yeah. That's where we were. Telescopes. So you had you have a telescope. You don't have the camera though, right?
No.
You just got the telescope. You've seen some pretty neat things though. Tell us about the things that you've seen in your telescope.
Well, I mean, through mine, gosh, that's the problem. I haven't really been able to get it out much.
Sure.
But I know, like, you can get a pretty good clear shot of Saturn out of it. You know, maybe see the bands on Jupiter and everything.
You were talking about, I've never seen the bands on a planet, but you were talking about how you used to kind of get into astronomy.
Astronomy, yes. Little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Very close in nature of how they sound, very different meaning. Astronomy.
Yes.
You had a fascination with it earlier in life, kind of drifted away from it. You said now with technology you're kind of getting back into it, and you said the thing that you wanted to do before it was find Saturn and you never could, right?
Yeah, you know, and it's just like a lot of things now, you know, and whatever hobby you're into, you know, with having all that knowledge right in your pocket, you know, to find what you need to find or do what you got to do. And yeah, not only just finding all this stuff is really cool, but are being able to, now the technology is so cheap, you got people who are setting up cameras on tripods in their backyard, and these are special tripods. And for any of you who aren't really familiar with astronomy, what it does is it moves the camera with the sky as the sky kind of goes in that circle as the earth rotates, and you got to follow the sky. So what it can do is it can open up the lens to collect light for an entire 8, 9, 10 hours of the night, stay on that object, and then it can collect just as much light as a huge telescope, you know.
Sure.
At an observatory could in 5 minutes, but it's got all night to look at it, so it can collect all that light. So you're seeing Hubble quality photos now, and I got friends on social media that are just posting stuff that's like better than the nebula you would see off Hubble or a lot of the other scopes up in space.
Yeah, you pulled up some really cool photos there on Facebook, I think.
That's
that.
I follow a couple space subreddits and things, and so occasionally they'll you hesitate to use the word amateur, but that's what they are because they're not professional.
Right, they're not being paid, but
they've got such great equipment.
I was going to say, can we just appreciate the fact that you can take amateur photos like that and they look better, if not just as good as professional grade photos? Like, that is just insane to me.
Yeah, the
technology has exploded.
The pictures I was showing you, you can get the equipment to do that for under $1,000,
which is just nuts.
Yeah,
this is very loosely related, but and speaking on that, I was blown away when I got this new phone and I took the first selfie with it. Like, oh my gosh, I'm ugly.
I need that crappy camera again, damn it.
Yeah. And of course, I got to see this gash on my nose too right away. So I was like, oh, no.
Oh, see, that's the problem, is your first picture with the brand new camera was already, it was already doomed because of that gash.
So that's, the technology is great, except for when it isn't. But even with phones, though, you can take some pretty killer pictures. You can't quite get any of the detail that you're talking about. But I remember trying to take a picture of the moon with a camera before. It was
you just got
impossible.
A white dot.
Yeah.
And actually, on that same social media page I was showing you earlier, a lot of the people post pictures straight from their iPhones that they took without a scope. They'll set it up on a tripod on a stand, but same concept, a long exposure.
Sure.
You only have like maybe 30 seconds because then the stars are going to start moving too much on you, but you're still going to get a far better picture than you could have with a snapshot.
Sure.
In the other camera.
Wow.
So those are cool.
There's things to try when you go home, Kordell.
Yeah, you got good equipment in your pocket. You didn't even know it.
Well, like, you can even, besides the fact that of how good phone cameras are now, you can buy like those clip-on lenses to make them even better and like
That's true.
being able to expand your picture and zooming farther and whatnot.
That's true. You
Which
get
is just
it's amazing.
Technology is amazing.
Stick around as the long-burning 10 o'clock hour continues. We might talk a little more about space. We might talk about something else. You never know where the night will go, especially once we get into the long-burning 10 o'clock hour. So stick around for it, won't you? And, of course, don't forget to look for the podcast and such at the usual places at the usual times.
Half talk, half music. 100% original After Hours Radio. Your Sunday nights just got better. Keeping your music taste out of Sucker Creek since 2011. After Hours Radio. Alternatively entertaining.
It's a nice loose after hours this evening.
Clearly.
It's working out. It's working out pretty well for everybody.
We are we're not praying. We're paying attention, though. We promise.
Yes. It happens post Aquafest. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little tired. Okay.
Yeah.
Could you give us a break?
It was a long weekend.
Besides the fact that I took a 2.5-hour nap after work today.
I did not. Dragon.
And then my sunburn hurt really bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did you do to get that? We went on to Shell Lake Beach, right?
Yeah, I went to the Shell Lake Beach yesterday with our friend of the show, Whitney, and a couple of her children.
Yeah. How was that?
It was really fun, actually.
That was yesterday you did that?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Aquafest?
Yeah, we went, I don't know, like 3 hours or something like that.
Did you do some swimming or just hanging out on the beach?
Did a little swimming.
As they warmed up, because at Shell Lake usually takes a little while to get warmed back up.
Yeah, it's still a little chilly, but it was really nice yesterday. It was Whitney and I were looking at the sky as we're standing in the water. It's a little chilly, and we're just like, it was a perfectly clear blue sky. Like there was not a single cloud in the sky, which probably made the sunburn a little worse.
Yeah.
But that'll happen when you're an irresponsible adult sometimes.
Well, you remember last year I did the show.
Yeah.
Came back after
went kayaking for like 4 hours or something.
4 hours, 7 hours, 90 degrees, not a cloud in the sky.
Nope.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't supposed to take that. It was
supposed to take 4 hours.
It was supposed to go like 4 hours, and then it was forever instead.
Yeah, it turned into Gilligan's Island in real life. A 3-hour tour. Couldn't get home. And like we I don't know how many miles that is. It's like maybe by car.
It's about
10, 11 miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so by river, I don't know how much or how little the curving adds or subtracts to the car mileage.
Right.
But it's about a 10-mile drive from point A to point B that we went down.
Where is that?
We started in McConna, and which is about 11 miles outside of Rice Lake to the northeast, and then we floated the river southwest, then down to the Red Barn Theater in Rice Lake.
Oh, okay.
And
nice.
On paper, we looked it up and whatnot to kayak it. It said approximately 3 to 4 hours. All right, that's all right.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
And we ended up 7 hours later. I mean, the river was shallow. There was no current.
Oh, so it was just like a shallow river type deal.
There was a couple spots where we had to walk.
Wasn't someone that was messing with you or anything?
No, no one was messing with us. It was just
the wrong time of year.
Yeah, and
the wrong day.
I did it just a few weeks ago. I thought about going the whole route again.
Mm-hmm.
But I was afraid of it taking 7 hours again.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to do it, but not by myself. And this time I was by myself.
Yeah.
So I started at the Red Barn Theater. I think this was last weekend, and went down, just right into Rice Lake. And I've never kayaked, like literally across the lake before, and I wasn't worried about it. I mean, I'm not the world's best swimmer. I'm not the world's best kayaker, but I'm not really afraid. I'm not one to panic in situations.
Right.
At least like that. I might panic if I see a spider or something, but I didn't really have any doubts about my ability crossing the lake and whatnot. But I also didn't really consider what crossing a lake would consist of versus just
Yeah.
going down the river.
It's work. It's,
Well,
it's a lot
especially-
of work.
Especially on like a windy day too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty calm on the river. Some shade. There was some natural growth that kept the winds tolerable, and the current was moving pretty fast this time. So I moved a lot faster than I anticipated. What I thought was going to take me an hour took me 30 minutes. So I didn't really have time to mentally prepare. Oh, hey, here's the lake. How do we approach this?
Right.
I'm just kind of floating around, and the river takes a turn, and I
Yeah.
think it's just taking a turn, but no, it's opening up into the lake. Like,
Nice.
oh, okay, I've never been here before. This is what a river turning into a lake looks like. Oh, that's neat. Houses, things. They got pontoons where I didn't know that you could put pontoons. Like, that seems far too shallow for what you're trying to do here. And there was like a group of, when I finally got, like, it was still the river, but there were pontoons and things. And there was this group of I didn't get too close, but it looked like 8 to 10 50, 60-year-olds just kind of hanging out. They like barged two pontoons together on a sandbar and just plopped some lawn chairs in, and were having the time of their life.
Nice.
And then there was another pontoon just a little ways down doing something similar, and then I encountered another pontoon. Man, I'm not even in the lake yet. This is just the river. And this pontoon, I think they just lived like right here. They just took it out to the middle of the river and let the kids swim. Like, all right, so there's going to be some pontoon traffic. Okay. I'm starting to prepare for pontoon traffic. And then it opens up more. Like, okay, this has got to be the start of the lake now. And the wind just picks up like a tunnel off of the shores on each side. The wind just from the lake curved up the river. And at one point, I held my paddle up like this, and it pushed me back up the current. So like I'm fighting.
It's like a sail. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm fighting this wind, and now I'm starting to, like, there's pontoons crossing the lake, so I've got pontoon wake along with the wind that I'm battling, and I didn't consider that. And like, all right, I had my feet up. I was laid back this entire time, like, whatever. You can probably see me. I'm bright red. We'll figure it out if I get hit. You know, you're probably trolling around. Well, I'll be fine. And then they weren't trolling around anymore. They were moving from here to there and not really taking their time doing so. And so, like, there were 2 lanes of pontoon traffic. like a 4-lane highway's worth of pontoon traffic I felt like I had to cross. Not steady, but enough that I paddle a lot slower than a boat with a motor.
Yep.
So, like, here's a pontoon, and, you know, over yonder, I don't know how many yards, there's another pontoon. Are they moving my direction too, or are they going the opposite direction? Oh, they turned around. They were going away. They're coming back. All right. So then I get them all sorted out. And, like, I'm in the middle. I got a pontoon crossing behind me, a pontoon crossing in front of me. And I'm just, like, bouncing in their wake in the wind. And, like, all right. And they're all nervous about me. Like, we can't really communicate with each other what we're trying to do. It's too windy. And the hand signals and what. I don't know. I got bad eyes. So I just kind of waited. I, like, put my paddle up. And, like, I'm just going to sit here. Let them figure out what they're going to do. I can tell that everybody sees me and everybody's hesitant because of me. So I'm going to stop moving. And then I made it through the pontoon highway. And then I got to the speedboats. Like, I forgot about them. So, like, on the shores or just off the shores for, you know, however many feet, yards, whatever, you got pontoons doing their thing, fishing, you know, pulling the family around for a nice Sunday stroll. And then right in the middle, you got speedboats going back and forth across the way, pulling
jet skis.
Yeah, pulling no jet skis on Rice Lake that day.
No?
No, but they were pulling tubers and water skiers, and so
nice.
I'm in their way now, trying to get past, and I found an island that I decided I was going to. It was covered in goose shit, but it made a good resting spot. And then somebody picked me up at a park on the shore, and that was all right. I'd do it again, and now I'm prepared for the boats. So, like, I'd really like be into it, you know. Like I'd ride that wake. I'd try to roll over. Like, you know, tip me. Come on, go fast. You gotta figure out your skill ability before you start being stupid. But once you know how stupid you can be, full send, man. Full send. All in. Why not?
Heck yeah.
I got to give a thank you to Mike for joining us on the show tonight, Kordell, as always, and you for sticking around all the way for the long burning 10 o'clock hour. We got a little more music before we call it a night. Don't forget to join us next week, live 7 until 11 p.m.
I still remember the day that you came. You were so little. For me it's just a day. Now you're all grown up, tall as a tree, strong as a wolf pup, faster than me. So if you're worried that a chance will pass you by, and if you're standing on the sidelines wondering why, what's the worst thing that could happen if you tried? Well, you might fall, but then again, you might learn to fly. I see you're struggling with the troubles of youth, the hearts that you're juggling, this possession of truth. And if you're worried that a chance will pass you by, don't be standing on the sidelines wondering why. What's the worst thing that could happen if you tried? Well, you might fall, but then again, you might learn to fly. If you worry that a chance will pass you by, and don't be standing on the sidelines wondering why. What's the worst thing that could happen if you tried? Whoa, what's the worst thing that could happen if you tried? Well, you could fall, but then again, you might learn to fly.
And all that.
Broadcasting live in downtown Rice Lake, Wisconsin. You're logged on and listening to After Hours Radio.